Hi guys, it's Rachel here again with another video, and I will be teaching you how to draw an optical illusion. This is one I learned when I was in elementary school, and I draw all the time now when I'm bored or just want to do something on my paper. So the materials you'll need is a piece of paper. Again, doesn't matter the size, it can be shorter than this or small, whatever you've got works, or colored, that works too. You'll probably need an eraser. Rulers, you can use long or short. I prefer to have both sometimes, but whichever you have will work. And then some kind of writing utensil. You could use a fine tip marker or a pen, and if you choose to use a pencil, I prefer mechanical, but if you don't have a mechanical, I would just recommend using a sharp pencil. So, to get started, you'll want to make a general shape. I started learning on a square, but you could try something else, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a square. So, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to put it anywhere on your paper, and you're just going to draw the bottom part of your square. It can be anywhere on the page. And remember, squares, all the sides are even, so I went from 2 to 4 on my ruler. So then I'm going to turn my paper just because it's easier for me. And I'm going to draw again another line from 2 to 4, turn my paper again, and then do a line 2 to 4, and then finally connect these last two. Okay, so you have your square. Now, you can take, if you have a smaller ruler, that's when I would start to use it here. If you made a small square, or if you made a bigger square, you could continue to use your large ruler. So I'm going to use my pen. It might show up a little bit darker. So what you'll do is you'll take your writing utensil and put it in the bottom left corner of your paper. You put it in this corner, or a vertice, which is a corner or a point where two lines meet. So you're going to put it there, and you're going to take your ruler and line it up against. You can go straight, and then what you do is you just angle it in just a little bit, so you'll draw your line up to this top part of the square. So you have this. Now what you'll do is you'll go ahead and rotate your paper counterclockwise, and your new vertice is this line that we made when we drew it up. That's where you're going to put your next point on with your writing utensil. So again, you put it on the point, take your ruler over, take it in a little bit, and draw your line up. And then again, remember, you rotate it counterclockwise. Remember, on a clock, clockwise goes around, then counter is the other way. So then you're just going to do it again. You're going to take your pen or your pencil and take it to your new vertice or corner, and you're going to put your ruler, angle it in, draw up, rotate counterclockwise, take our pencil to the new vertice, and this is where I would stop. And we don't want to go through because we have a line right here, but we don't want to draw through it. So when we get to it, we stop. We don't make it go through. So we stop. And you continue to go all the way around. You just keep moving it counterclockwise. And once you've gone all the way around once, you just keep going, and you put your pen on your new vertice, and you go up, and you stop, and you turn it counterclockwise. Find your new vertice, draw it up and stop, turn it again, counterclockwise, new vertice, and you just keep going until you have your finished one. Oops, let me finish turning that. And sometimes it can be hard to remember, like sometimes I get lost, I don't remember where I left off. So as long as you just keep turning it counterclockwise, it will help you stay in line with going around and making it this optical illusion. If you need to, it might be easier to start with a bigger square. I know that can be easier because then it's not as small. But you just keep going around and around. And once you're finished, there's a couple of different things you can do with this optical illusion. And I'll show you when I'm done. I'll finish this one, and we'll talk about what you can do with them afterwards. So again, I just keep going, turning it around, following the next one. And if you have a hard time, you can always leave your pen and flip your paper like this. That way you know where to start. That's one way if you don't like taking your pencil off every time and moving it around. So we'll just finish this up. And if you don't have a ruler, you can always just use something that has a straight edge. Like when I was in school, sometimes I'd use a calculator. My calculator had a straight edge on it. So I'd use that when I was done with my schoolwork. Or I could have used my eraser because it has a straight edge. But you'll just keep going. And if you mess up, that's why I said to have an eraser. You can just erase it and draw your line over again. These are pretty, forgiving. You just erase it. It's your art. You do with it what you want. Nothing has to be perfect. These can take a minute. So if you do a small one or a big one, it just depends on how fast you go. I used to take a really long time because I had never made them before, but now I'm pretty fast at it. And see, I lost where I was. So I'm just gonna pick a new vertice and just keep going, and it'll still work out. Because you just find a vertice and you just make that line go up. And I will tell you, when you get towards the end, the box does become really small in the middle. So sometimes I just put a line diagonal and call it good. So if you can kind of see it a little bit, maybe not, but I'll tell you what you can do with it now that it's done. I made one on a bigger paper. And so what you can do is you can color it in. You can go every other, you can do black, or you can do red or a different color, but you could do it on all of them and it would kind of look really cool. That was one thing. Or if you look, what I did on this one was I colored the lines in darker, and then I took my pencil and I took a Q-tip, and what I did was I colored it in lightly with my pencil, and then I took my Q-tip and I used it to help make a shadow effect. So then it kind of made it give that same optical illusion effect, but I did it with pencil, whereas this one was done with marker. Now there are lots of different shapes you could do with an optical illusion. Square is not the only one. I made one with a triangle. This one is very similar to the square. You just treat it the same, where you find your vertice and you just draw up. And then from there, you just keep going down and around and you make the triangle shape. It looks pretty cool. This one I did shade and make the lines darker. This one I just drew. Or you can use a circle. Now I bet you're wondering, how do I make a circle? Circles have no vertices, they have no corners. Well, a trick to that is you take your ruler and your pencil and you make a square within the circle. So if you look at this here, I have made a square within my circle. And then I have all these extra spots that don't have anything in them. So what I'm going to do is take my ruler and just go down to a corner. And I'm just going to draw more in and just kind of curve them like this. And then you'll fill them in and you have more lines and it fills out your circle. And eventually you can get your circle to look like this and you can shade it in. But I want you guys to comment down below your pictures of your optical illusions, or maybe a different shape you thought of that I didn't think of. But it was really fun and I can't wait to see you guys again. Bye.